towers are the favorites of our high-end players. None of these Yorena or Yolana, however you pronounce it,
Arenas?
maps. Arena, yeah. I haven't seen those yet. Normally, we do see one or two throughout the tournament, so we haven't seen them yet. So we're going to be jumping into game number 2. Like we said before, it's going to be an orbital shipyard. You're watching the Filthy Weekly. This is week 9. Winner of this gets a guaranteed spot in the $1,000 prize global finals that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Not just that, but winner gets $75 straight off for being the straight winner for this, and 25 for second place. So a lot of incentive for that as well. If you're, it's not a bad day's work for an afternoon of playing StarCraft.
Yeah, it's what 4. So I mean, some of these guys play 6 games total. Yeah, and so it's pretty good, especially if you just have the Saturday afternoon. Why not join up? So spawning in our top right position is our blue Protoss player from Psystorm Gaming. He is down a game. It is PiLiPiLi.
And representing Ordo Equidum, it is Cham playing Zerg in the bottom left.
The way you said that made it sound so cool. Ordo Equidum.
I'll admit I couldn't remember, but luckily I had chat open on the side, and Mech the Warrior, who's cheering for Cham, had typed it out, so it made it super easy to remember.
I think Cham was from Mexico.
Is he?
Oh, okay,
I didn't know.
If I remember correctly, actually, or maybe Ordo Equidum is from Mexico, but he's one of the few GM Mexican players. It's actually really interesting because you don't hear from him that often. Actually, we were actually talking about this with the Draenok a couple tournaments ago. But you don't see many, South American, or obviously Mexico's not South American, but like any like Latin American, Mexico, Brazil, South American, or South American, Central America. Thank you. Oh my gosh,
that's what you were looking for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. English, United States education here at its finest. We don't see that often when we hear about European players. We do hear, a few Australian players, possibly Canadian, United States. Very rarely Central American players. So it's so exciting to be like, there's GM Central American players. So it's super exciting, especially that they're able to play, because this is a North American Cup, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's from Canada, oh, he's from Mexico. That's North America. Like, I'm sorry, but that's North America, so he's allowed to play. Anyways, we're off topic. So, again, it's just safe build from both players. Nothing cheeky, no proxies, no nothing. Just simple 3-hatch, pool, and then 2 nexus, gateway, cybernetic core. Simple build so far.
Yeah, we'll see. It's kind of up to PiLi here Protoss at this position has the ability to kind of shape the way that the game's going to Zerg has opportunities as well early on, but considering our Zerg is going for the very standard, 3-hatch pool sort of, economic route, it's up to PiLi here, who now can decide whether or not he's going to go for the very same, very quick, third nexus coming up, or will he go for something aggressive? We're seeing 2 adepts being chrono boosted out here pretty quickly. I wonder why he's deciding to chrono boost them out. He must be. We'll see if he continues. I mean, that's what I was gonna say. We don't see any continued. I see this happen a lot. I think it's just kind of a what to do with your chrono boost sort of thing, where we see players just chrono boost out those couple of first units out of the gateway. And now it looks like we're seeing him set up for a very quick nexus. So maybe it's just sort of a defensive thing, like let me get the units out pretty quickly. I can get them across the map, see what's coming. If there is like a roach push coming, you can have those few extra units out to help maybe pick off some lings or whatever.
And if those shades get down to the second base, he's going to see that roach warren. So he's going to see.
If he focuses here, he can. Yeah, I was gonna say he can start picking off a lot of workers. Let's see, that's 2 down. He's now stuck in the crux here. So that's 4. And 5. All right. So these adepts definitely doing work. 6 workers killed. And I mean, hey.
You might almost get to 7. Damage is damage. I mean, it's just. But again, he didn't see that. I don't think he saw the roach warren. Let me go to his vision. Yeah, he didn't see the roach warren. So maybe he thinks it's just going to be more lings. He did see the double gas. So he has to know something's coming, or he has to know it's going to be something. Soon to be upgrade of a tier and a half unit like roach, maybe Ravager. But he's. Do you see he does go for that third nexus, as we said before? He was, he wanted to do so. He uses those adepts, kind of just like, okay, I got nothing coming. I could take my third base.
Yeah, now we see double Stargate coming out. I assume that's going to be for some Phoenixes in order to get more map control. And again, this will help out. It looks like we're having a really huge Roach Ravager push coming out. So this will help out with to help lift up units, but they're not actually going to be able to kill it that much, considering the attack power is pretty low, unless he starts going like double Void Ray, which, I mean, he has that opportunity and ability if he sees the attack coming. So I feel that PiLiPiLi's in a pretty good spot. But yeah, we're seeing Phoenixes come out first in order to get map control and push away some Overlords. And then they just have so much versatility that they can help defend as well.
But this hallucinated Phoenix is going to see these roaches. He's like, oh, there's roaches coming.
Oh, yeah, hallucinated Phoenix. I like that. That's actually pretty funny. Using a hallucinated one as he's building in a bunch of real ones.
Yeah. But so now he's going to see. But all these adepts, there's a lot of adepts, almost a fully energized mothership core. You know, and then he switches it to double Void Rays, exactly. So it's just, he's like, oh, I honestly think PiLiPiLi's in a decent spot, but I mean, this is a huge train.
Yeah, that is
roaches
a lot
and lynx
coming out.
But if he baits out these pylon overcharges and then runs away, I'm like, there's only enough for what, 4 pylon overcharges? He does get 1.
Surrounded. That's not good.
Dips gets surrounded, the corrosive bile goes down, the Phoenix comes in, lifts up 1 Ravager, 2 Ravagers are just lifted up, but like you said, they're not going to be able to attack it, and these pylons are getting dropped, and there goes the defensive pylons. There's no more defensive pylons, there's 1 more left.
Getting those adepts surrounded was not so great. We're seeing probes getting pulled off the line, so now we're going to see some more economic damage being done here to PiLiPiLi as we're seeing Void Rays raining in from the sky. Ooh, trying to take them down with the corrosive biles there. A nice force field on the ramp. I wonder if he had saved that hallucination. I mean, he needed to see the units coming, but I wonder if that Guardian Shield could have been, pretty helpful off of that sentry if he had saved it. We're seeing roaches and lings running in now, taking down a lot of pylons here. PiLiPiLi doesn't even have enough supply to warp in units. Pretty tough situation to be as more workers are being taken down. Oh
yeah, with all these lings streaming in, I mean, he's got 0 units. He's ironically enough, he was supply capped, but the more workers he loses, it gives him that supply. So it kind of gives him the advantage to start building more units. But I mean, these lings are just coming in and they're just destroying everything. They're inside the mineral line. They're delaying mineral times. I mean, there's a couple lings in here, finishing out the probes, and here's more lings than the natural, and just getting as much damage as they can. There's more lings coming. I mean, at the same time, I don't know if Cham wants to keep doing this. I mean, PiLiPiLi might level off here in a second, but I mean, PiLiPiLi's third base is gone. The second base keeps getting a delayed mining time. And
I like that you questioned whether or not he should continue on with this, because we're seeing him just pump out more and more units. And sure, PiLiPiLi's definitely in a pretty bad spot here in order to continue forward. We're seeing a slight pause here. Oh no, we're seeing Jamin get dropped here. But I wonder if he should have held off on producing lings and roaches to maybe hold back a little bit. He knows that he's done enough economic damage and enough army damage that he should be able to, defend any sort of attack that's going to come. We saw him build up a lot more queens, which is super smart once he saw those Void Rays coming out, because really the only thing that Cham has to worry about is this air army. But the air army's slow, so that's going to give Cham time in order to build up his defenses. And PiLiPiLi's on the back foot now. And if Cham had just, built a few more lings or built a few more drones and maybe expanded taking 4th base, I think he would be in an even stronger position here to defend against PiLiPiLi. But should be able to defend with all the units that he's got, his 3 bases. We're seeing a ton of units here massing up here in the center. I mean, there's more than enough here, actually, that for Cham in order to take over the 3rd base here. He's trying to bust up the ramp, though. I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea, as we're going to see a lot of lings get traded in efficiently, but still, he's got so much more than PiLiPiLi that it's really not going to matter. A lot of photon overcharges, though, going down, so the lings are kind of distracted, but they still should be able to clear off this. No, not going to be able to get that 3rd base, as the Void Rays now are forced to come back and defend. But again, that gives more time to Cham, who is still opting to build more lings and roaches and queens. We'll see if this idea is going to work. I mean, he still is economically ahead PiLiPiLi, but the army of PiLiPiLi is just building up bit by bit as more Void Rays are getting pumped out, and a lot more sentries are just now entering the field. See, though, still a strong Ravager count. As if we take a look at the units here, we're seeing a total of 7 Ravagers. Still quite... I don't know if that's going to be enough to actually take down all the Void Rays here in this straight-up engagement, but there should be enough units on the ground. They should be able to get that 3rd base. But Queen's actually helping out of the back as they're making their long trek across the map. They're going to be exhausted. I know I would be after walking all the way across the map. As they are now coming up the ramp here, we're seeing Corrosive Biles coming down, taking out some of the pylons here, some photon overcharges. Though he still has to worry about these Void Rays in the back. Luckily, Queens have enough energy here in order to keep them alive for quite a while. Trying to bust through that main ramp. the Lings are now flooding in, as they were force fielded out just a moment ago. More Lings going into that third base as well. Corrosive Biles kind of pushing back this Protoss army as they're kind of forced to dance back and forth. We're seeing no force fields go down, no Guardian Shields, and